Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshop guides that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish in a very easy format. If you want to know anything about that part of my business, make sure to stop by my blog at Chris's Creative Life. And today, though, is the beginning of January, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff going on in the Stampin' Up world. So I thought I would do a quick live. It's, to be super honest, probably not going to be quick, but I thought I would pop on live now that the hoopla of the first day has kind of settled down and everything is flowing, I think, as it should be. Yesterday, which was January the 6th, all sorts of things started in the Stampin' Up world, and it might have actually broken the internet in some certain spots. So I decided not to do my live yesterday and just give it 24 hours to shake itself all out and stop by here today and try and at least recap everything that started yesterday. If you just give me 1 second, I'm just going to share my video into a few spots. If you are watching live, make sure to say hello, tell us where you might be coming from, watching from, all of those fun things. And if you're watching on the replay, I would love to know that too. Okay, so something didn't work right off the hop, so let's just try again. Hopefully I didn't just share it somewhere crazy, you know. So like I said, a whole bunch of things started yesterday in the Stampin' Up world. So I'm going to try and kind of capsulate them, condense it all down. We are also going to create something, so don't worry about that. And actually it was funny because I was getting ready to go live at, my goal was to hit 1 o'clock. And my doorbell rang. Well, actually, I'll tell you, first of all, my goal was a little bit earlier than that, but I managed to sit down on the couch, and then my puppy sat down. She's not really a puppy, but you know what I mean. Sat down right on top of me, and she did not want me to go and get ready for my live. So I was a little bit longer than I originally anticipated being, but it's all good. Okay, I'm just going to share it to the last spot. Or maybe not. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here is kind of all of those fun things that started yesterday. So we have a new catalog. I'm sure you saw, I think I've posted teasers, all of those fun things. There is a lot of new goodies in here. We're going to, don't worry, create with them over the next few months. But there is a brand new mini catalog that is from January to April 2026. And then on top of that, we have a small online product release also. And I actually already have a workshop with one of the sets of products from the online exclusive. So it's called the Lovely Blossoms Suite. And so I took some of that and I've created actually a scrapbooking workshop already. The details are on my shop. I'm not sure that the full blog post is up just yet. But so on top of a brand new catalog and a set of exclusive products, it is also bonus days, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So bonus days, always fun, right? So it's shop a little in January and then save in February. And then this is why my doorbell rang. It's January and we have a new product of the month, which I will also talk about. Okay. But first, we're going to quickly talk about bonus days. So basically, everything in a nutshell is bonus days. You shop and earn $6 in Canada for every $60 you spend from January the 6th until February the 2nd. No limits. So just make sure though that you're using a valid email address when you are completing your purchase. You save. After placing your order, your coupon codes come to your email address. And I can attest this happened yesterday when I placed my order, right? And then you'll be able to redeem those coupon codes, right? So put them in a safe spot in your inbox or print them out. Once you have those coupon codes, you'll be able to then apply them to an order between February the 3rd and the 28th. Okay, so that is bonus days. Okay, then on top of that, like I said, we have a new product of the month, right? So like I said, why my doorbell rang? So this month is a stamp set. So if you remember correctly, last month was the paper pack, which I have all my stuff right here also. But last month was the paper pack. I do have some of it left, but I created several things last month live with you guys. And then, so what, let's just see all the things I created. So I did this scrapbooking layout as a live, right? We did these two cards as a live. They were interpretations of some of the artwork that Stampin' Up had posted. Then I also talked to you because, right, I'm part of a tutorial group for product of the month. So if you place an order of $100 or more, you will receive that month's product of the month tutorial bundle. And like, this is like a lot of tutorials, right? So one from each of us, and they featured that month's product of the month, which was the paper pack, right? And then, so at the end of the month, last month, I took 2 of the tutorials and I actually used the 12 days of crafting products with that tutorial bundle from December and created 2 alternative projects, right? Because you guys, you know, I'm all about like resources, reusing resources, all of those fun things. So when you spend $100 with me this month, you will earn, right, the January, so I'm just putting some stuff on my reach, the January product of the month tutorial bundle, which will again include 12 tutorials because there's 12 of us, featuring and actually I don't even know why I didn't notice that. I didn't actually look at even the title of the stamp set before I ordered it yesterday, but it's called Fabulous Sayings. And so I'm going to actually I'm going to have my desk in here so you could see some things a little bit easier. So I was playing around with my camera, so let's hope that we're going to get the right view. Okay, it's a little bit dark, but that's okay. We could fix that. Okay. Here we go. So this is the brochure for the product of the month. So when you spend $100, you will be given the opportunity to purchase the stamp of the month for $5. So like I said, this is obviously the catalog being upside down is very distracting for me. So, and then I just want to talk about something under here for a second and then we'll start creating, but I need to talk about this before we create. So here we go. So there are great sentiments. This is also like a look at if you saw the advertising, right? This is kind of some of the things that the art department has done with this stamp set. So, but I wanted to actually open it up so you could kind of see the size of things. So, sending love. Okay, so this is, I'm just going to flip this over. That's just in my note. But you can see, just so that you have like a frame of reference on size, that covers the front of a card base, right? This way. You could do anything also, right? Like, so these are actually sized very, they're not small. They're perfectly sized for cards, right? Here's happy birthday. It runs the full width almost of the A2 size card, right? You could, and it's also, you could very easily use it on a landscape card too. I know it's glary when I do that because, like I said, I bumped up the lights. But great sentiment. And like, I wanted to open the stamp set so that you could actually see, like I said, the size. But here's the sentiment. So happy birthday. You're on my mind. Thank you. Sending love. Hello. You could do anything. So much. Hooray. To a fabulous friend, just because there are simply no words for this. Okay, so that's the January stamp of the month. That's my discussion about the mini catalog, the online exclusives. If you have any questions, you can always add them to the comments below and I'll answer them as best as I can. Okay, so product of the month, bonus days, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about, and then we're going to actually use it as our renewable resource, is the January Card Club to go for 2026. This is my card club. You can order the kit directly to your home if you're in Canada. If not, there is a PDF version of the tutorial in my shop, but it creates these fun cards. Where is the last card? But I went with a shaker card. Sorry. Okay, sorry, I thought I had my do not disturb come on, and apparently the phone call came through. So, okay, I got distracted there. Where is our last card? I actually don't see it. You guys. I'm sure it will pop up, but this is a look. Hey, Tara. This is a look at the kit. If you ordered the kit, it would ship to your house, not including like the directions, but they come to you as like a downloadable PDF email. And the last card will pop up. It's just on my desk somewhere and maybe got picked up in the pile with my catalog. Like I said, it will pop up. I don't actually need it for, oh, I do actually. We're going to actually create 2 alternative versions of the cards today. So I did do some advanced work. Like I cut up my pieces and oh my goodness, look, yes, I was using it as my backer so you could see how big the stamp set was. Okay, but we're not using the product of the month today. We could, maybe we will. Okay, anyway, so these are the cards that it creates. And like I said, you could take a look in my shop if you are interested in the PDF. If you're interested in the kit, you can send me an email at chris@chrisscreativelife.com and I can email you details or send you the link to the blog post. But so we're going to use these as like our template and we're going to create alternate versions today featuring some of the new products, right? So like I said, I just released my Lovely Blossoms scrapbooking workshop. So I thought, well, why don't we play with some of those products? So I picked the stamp set and dies, but I grabbed different paper. So I actually grabbed the Lovely Blossoms paper, which we've had for, no, it's not called that. It's called Brushed with Beauty paper. And if I'm not mistaken, it was part of the November online exclusive. So here's a look at the papers. And they're literally beautiful. I did the craft class from Stampin' Up with these products, and loved it. So I thought we could play with this a little bit more. So we're going to create, like I said, 2 cards. One's going to be like a mashup of the Brushed with Beauty with the Lovely Arrangements stamp set. And then the other one, we're going to feature the product of the month from last month. And like I said, maybe we'll use the product of the month stamp set for that one. Okay. So, like I said, I did play with a few things beforehand. So, this is a look at the paper. Here's the dies, because I thought that these dies were really fun. So, I wanted to use this die and this one, and I swapped it out for different parts of the card. So, for this one, I used this card as our reference, okay? But like I said, we're going in a totally different direction, and it's not going to be shaker for this one. So I have a very vanilla card base. So this is just a standard card base. I cut it at 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4, so you did not have to watch that part, right? Okay, so right, this is our inspiration here. And I picked this one because I wanted to use my circles, right, as this background piece there. So, but the first thing we'll do is I picked this as kind of like my background for my card base. So, it's like the crumb cake with, and I think it's very vanilla, and it kind of looks like a little bit like a faux stitching. And I didn't use the floral sides of these papers because I knew we were going to decorate it with the floral images from the Lovely Arrangements, right? Okay, well, now I think I have to stand up. There we go. Okay, so then, like I said, I wanted to play with this circle die. So I used this piece of paper. We're going to add it. It is wider. We could trim it down so it's exactly the same. Maybe we'll do that. So it's exactly the same width as our inspiration card here. I'm going to grab my trimmer. So I'm just going to line up in my trimmer so that I can cut this last set of circles off. Okay. And I have a second one because I need that to do the full length. There we go. Right. So now we can go like top to bottom. I'm going to trim that just a little bit more. So I'm going to center this on my card base. Maybe we will just glue it. You guys don't see me do glue very often, but I'm thinking that might be my best option here so that I can wiggle it a little bit if I need to. So there we go. Okay, so if I line this up, then I would end up cutting off part of that top row, and I actually want like the top of the circles there. So I'm actually going to cut this down, and it's going to be hidden anyway. So I'm just going to trim off some more off the bottom here. Okay. And like I said, if it overlaps, it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's going to get covered up. I just didn't want it to be like half at the top. Okay, so then for our black piece, we have a piece of Early Espresso that I can add. Of course, I have pieces of paper flying. Okay, and then I thought this die cut was super pretty. So what it does is it actually just cuts the pattern out of your paper. So this is a piece of very vanilla again, cut down to the same size as my background piece there. Oh, you guys, shoot. Okay, well, we're going to have to do something different. I forgot I was supposed to put some ribbon there before I adhered this down. So our ribbon's just going to look different. Okay, so then I cut out my frame from a piece of the paper also. Let's just grab my silicone mat here so I don't end up with glue all over my glass mat. I was having problems because it's very dry right now for winter with my green glue drying all the time. So we're trying it in this little bottle to see if that's helpful. Okay, so then this gets centered on here. Like I said, we're not going to do a shaker for this one, but this is the difference where you would turn that into the shaker, right? Okay, and then we're going to color our second set, but I did pre-color some of the flowers from the lovely arrangements, and I also die cut some leaves out of the decorative, like the designer series paper. So it's actually like this piece right here, because I thought that totally looks like leaves. Okay, and we're going to do one last flower. So I think we'll use this size sentiment on this one. So I did cut out both sizes, and we need to find, what should we use as our ribbon? Let's see. Maybe we'll use this actually. This is the gold and white ribbon that is 1 centimeter, or where's the imperial? 3/8 of an inch. Look at this. I have not even cut off the plastic. I actually thought I had, but that's okay. So I used it on another project. Oh, this is pretty. It's kind of got like a distressed look to it. So look how pretty that is. Okay, so I have the ribbon wrapped around and tied on that one, but I might just place it down on here. I'm sure I might be able to actually sneak it underneath. Let's see. No, I could. And actually, I could even cut it thinner to make it more delicate. Actually, we're going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my big scissors. So for cutting ribbon, I go for my sewing scissors. Right, so they only get used for fabrics or ribbon and not paper. Apparently, I need to concentrate really hard for cutting ribbon in half, that to the point where I cannot speak at the same time. Oh, I think I've got like way too much ribbon, but that's okay. Okay. Okay, I am going to, because I've already got it glued down and I don't need to make things more difficult for myself. These are just the tweezers from like the embossing set. And if you put them there, it holds the ribbon. And then you don't have to have 3 hands, right? 2. And I love that the ribbon is fraying a little bit. That is exactly what we were hoping for. Okay, and so now I can take this off and tighten everything up. Okay, and we're not going to trim that until we finish decorating at the top. Okay, so we're going to do one more flower to match, and then we will add our sentiment. Okay, so like I said, I just colored them. I stamped them first and then colored them on Very Vanilla. And then for my blend colors, I used Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo. So my darkest one, my Flirty Flamingo, right, I did closest to the center. And everyone looks just a little bit different, and that's what I love. Okay, and then I brought that color out. So that's the dark. And I'm just going to bring it out a little bit with my light. Okay, and then I went Petal Pink, dark, and then light. Okay, and then I went back with my dark and just pulled a few little darker streaks. Okay, and then I went back with my Petal Pink and pulled them all out to kind of the tip. But like I left the very light around the outside. Okay, so this one is still wet, but you can see how pretty the colors all work together. So I'm thinking something like this. This one, and you can see the difference, right? This one is completely dry and this one's still wet. And this one is completely dry too, right? So it definitely dries back. I'm just going to give the flowers a little bit, the petals, just bending them a little bit with just like the warmth of my hand will allow the paper to bend a little bit. You can use your bone folder. You can also, like, without hopefully taking down my whole desk, use just like your mat with your bone folder to give the leaves a little bit. I'm just letting this dry for a few seconds before we do anything because it is still wet. I don't want to do too much to it just yet. Okay, so let's though pick our sentiment. So like I said, I think we're going to do the little skinny, one of the little skinny ones. But there's so many to choose from. This, so sending smiles, always here for you. Hello, friend. Thank you. Love you. Just a note. Happy birthday. You are so lovely. So very much. Maybe we'll do the happy birthday. I love a good birthday card. So there we go. And we are going to use, okay, I'm going to try my best. I don't normally do things in this order, but we're going to do Early Espresso for our sentiment. It's extra, that's extra. That's upside down. So if you guys have any questions about the product of the month or bonus days or the difference between things that are in the catalog versus the online exclusives, feel free to ask and I will try and answer the best I can. Super pretty. Okay, so we will put that over here and we'll do the same thing with our second flower. I'm going to put my lid on my glue for a second. As I said, we are very dry here. So I'm just trying to give it a little body without ripping it. It is dry now, I think. Okay, so here we go. We can just now put everything all together. We'll grab some dimensionals and set one flower. So inside, I want to be able to still see some of the frame there, right? The really pretty frame. Yeah, I think we'll do something like that. Okay, and this one, you know how there's lots of great indications with a die as to cutting your flower out. If you notice, this little petal has just this little pop-out piece, and so it's super easy to know how to line up your die all the time. And then the other thing that's helpful for is my placement on my flowers, right? So I could see on this one, it's off to the side this way. So I'm going to make sure this flower is going kind of in a different direction than that first one. I'm going to tuck this underneath there. There we go. And then I'm going to glue dot in my leaves. Being gentle, because this is designer series paper and this is a delicate die, right? So they're just, it's not quite as rough and tumble as like if I cut it out with cardstock, right? So there's a single leaf and then there's the double leaf. So I'm going to add another one up there. Okay, and then let's add some dimensionals, minis, to the edge of our sentiment there. And then I can use a glue dot to adhere it down onto my flower there. Okay, so now I can trim this down. Okay, so we just need an embellishment. And for this suite, they're super pretty embellishments. They're pearls. So just let me grab them. Actually, you know what? We're going to use a new embellishment because they also just came today. So, how about these? There are pearls that match this suite, but I also really liked these pearlized faceted circles. And so I think they'll be pretty on here. So we're going to use them. And I'm going to actually use these ones on my second card. So it works out well. And there are 2 sizes for these ones. So we will go with a big one tucked in here and a little one, and then one over here. Okay, and then, because we can, let's add a little bit of Wink Stella. We'll see if I can actually get something out of this one. If not, it's okay. I have another one. I don't think I did come out of that. That's okay. Here we go. We've got another one. Okay, 2 down, 1 more to go. But this, I think, is a new one. So there we go. We've got some action. So I'm just going to add some to the centers. Like that. And then I'm going to splatter. So I have a little bit of concentration in the middle and then some splattering on the rest of my card. Okay, so there we go. Here's our mashup of the card for Card Club to Go for January. And then I do have one more we're going to do quickly, hopefully. So then I picked another card from Card Club to Go. And like I said, this time we're going to use some of the paper from the product of the month from last month. And I'm very much feeling like I should at least wipe the Winkastella. Yes, because I can see it all over my chamois now. So that's good. Okay, so here we go. This is just a white willow card base because, right, for this one, it's like the white and blue, the two blues. So I think like the coordinating colors are Balmy Blue and Night of Navy. So this is the number for the card that I picked. So let's find that card. So I think we're going to do this one. So this is the first card. So I used the same dimensions, and we're going, so this is a piece from that paper from last month. So I went with like the white-ish back, like the most white background. Then I'm going to do this as my strip, my long strip, like the pink there. Just centering it. Okay, so now we have this piece, and I'm thinking I'm going to add the twine this time. So I am actually going to add a scrap of cardstock behind that to give it a little bit more stability, I think. So it could be like any color, just so that I can tie the twine. I'm going to add the twine behind it. Let's see if I remember the dimensions correctly. I did. Look at that. Look at me go. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere these two together. Just because the DSP, I could do it, but right, it's a little bit flimsier. So there we go. I'm going to add my twine on the bottom. Thread. Okay, so we've got that. Then I did pre-stamp some flowers. These are just on white willow. I have my frame, and this is the little background piece. And I'm just trying to decide. I thought it might be fun to put something in the background. So Oh, you know what we could do? I think we're going to actually add a sentiment to the background and then add our flowers on top. So we're going to do hello friend. Okay, and we're going to do some random stamping with balmy blue. I feel like it's very dark in here today, which is weird because it's not really. So I should put a piece of scratch paper under here, I'm thinking. Here we go. I just tidied my office, so it's harder to find scratch paper sometimes, you know. Okay, so we're going to actually do this. And I don't want them to be the same, right? So I'm just trying to like offset them. So here is yet another idea with last month's product of the month if you're looking for one. Sorry, it's very thirsty. Like I said, it's very dry. Okay, and I'm actually still going to stamp this little bit at the top, right? So it doesn't look like it's like I just, like not everything is like all in a row, etc. Okay. And we're just going to, I think, add a little bit of balmy blue ink to the background there. So I'm just grabbing a blending brush. Here we go. So first things I'll do is I'm going to glue my frame down here. And then I'll pop some dimensionals on the back of this piece. And that just helps it so that when the twine's down on the card, you don't get like a lump from the twine being back there. Just have to make sure when you put text on it like that, that you're making sure that the text is going in the right direction, right? So there we go. So this is a remake of this card, right? And I don't need 800. I just need a few Valentines. So that's why the card kit was just like 4. And I thought that, well, you make two of 4 designs. So you can, I think, trim this, add some dimensionals. And I'm going to use actually these pieces to hold my twine in place. Because you can cut them longer if you need, or this is a really good side to use, right? There we go. There we go. Just get all my back ends off. Okay. And we will do some coloring. Okay, so I know you don't really see balmy blue flowers, but I think it kind of just goes perfectly. So this is dark balmy blue. And I might leave some white at the ends. So instead of like the two sets of colors, like I don't want to use Night of Navy, too dark. Okay, and then my light. Pulling it out, but leaving some whites at the tips. Okay, and then the difference this time is I will take my Wink of Stella, I think. And blend it out on my flower. Okay, I'm going to give that just a few seconds to dry. I can do another one. So the dark right down here. And then I did dark along the bottom. And then here. Blend it out a little bit, but still leaving patches of white. Paint it again. I'm wondering, maybe, okay, we're going to do one more and I'll decide. But I'm thinking maybe I will do like some Night of Navy leaves. Okay, so my lighter pulling out. And it's not, they're not actually like, they don't really look in real life like blue. They kind of have like that gray blue color, which is kind of pretty. Okay, and then once these dry for a second, we can shape them. But I think we're going to do that. So let's just grab a little scrap of Night of Navy. Or I could do Secret Sea too, but I have a little scrap here. So yeah, I like that. Okay, let's just do a few more so we have a few to choose from. I actually think I really like the smaller sentiment too for this one. So we did Hello Friend in the background. So let's do Just a Note. And we'll do that with Night of Navy. Night of Navy, where are you? Oh, we could do Secret Sea too. No, we'll do Night of Navy. Okay, I have one more here. We won't use all of these, but it gives us options. So I'll just stamp this and then we will shape our florals just a little bit. There we go. Because you got to remember, we're trying not to dry out our glue. Okay. Here we go. Just a note. Okay, I'm going to put it off to this side and I'm going to tuck that in kind of to my flower, I think. Just like that. Okay, so I am going to use a glue dot and actually add these first. just a slightly different configuration. Kind of pretty, all monochromatic. I actually pulled out something different to use for the leaves, and I'll show you. But I actually like the way this went better. So I pulled out the washi tape, the new washi tape with the leaves on it, the greenery one, and I was going to use these. I just added them to cardstock first. These are very vanilla. So that's another option if you don't want to like stamp and die cut leaves or color them or any of those things. So many fun new things. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I will come back and address them if I'm gone already. Or if you're watching on the replay and something's like as clear as mud, make sure to ask. Okay, so there we go. We've got one extra one. And like I said, we can use these ones. They go perfectly because they're like white. So I'm assuming it's like Flirty Flamingo, Petal Pink, and then white. So there we go. So there's the second card. So this was based off of this card, but featured product of the month, as well as the lovely arrangements. And then this also featured for the stamp set, the lovely arrangements, but it's the Petals of Beauty paper pack, which brushed with beauty, Petals of Beauty, brushed with beauty paper pack. So, and like I said, if you're interested in the PDF instructions for the January card club to go, they are already on my blog. And if there's anything else I can help you with, please feel free to ask. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to come back. And I did do like a brief like recap at the beginning about all of the fun new things. I'm just going to go back to my main camera for a second. But we can't have all of this light or I'll be blind. Okay. So don't forget, from January the 6th, okay, let me grab all my papers now. To the end of the month, to February the 2nd, you can earn, during bonus days, your coupon rate to redeem in February. So you earn it from January the 6th to February the 2nd. In Canada, it's $6 for every $60 you spend. And then you can redeem them in February from the 3rd to the 28th. So they do come to your inbox after you place your order. Also, the January product of the month is a stamp set, a sentiment stamp set. fabulous sayings. So that is live and up right now. And if you place a $100 order, not only do you get a workshop guide from me, but you also will qualify yourself for the product of the month tutorial that comes at the end of the month. So like I said, lots of fun things to shop for this month. I will be back with more inspiration throughout the month. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.